DJ Envy, Angela Yee, and Charlamagne the God.
The Breakfast Club, bitches.
The voice of the culture.
People watch The Breakfast Club for like news and really be tuned in.
It's one of my favorite shows to do. Just because y'all always keep it 100, y'all keep it real.
They might not watch the news, but they're on Twitter. They're on Facebook. They're listening to The Breakfast Club.
Get your ass up.
Good morning, USA.
Yo 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 yo.
Good morning, Angela Yee.
Good morning, DJ Envy.
Charlamagne the God.
Peace to the planet. It's Thursday.
Yes, it's Thursday. Good morning.
We are here. What's happening? What day of the week is it? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. 5th day of the week.
Okay.
Yes, 5th day of the week, because Sunday counts as the first day.
I don't do all that. All I know is tomorrow's Friday, and that's when the weekend starts.
Man.
And it's Super Bowl weekend.
Yes.
It's definitely Super Bowl weekend. I think that we have to embrace Thursday as a day of the weekend. And I tell you why. Because weekends be feeling like 30-minute lunch breaks. So it's like I think we have to start embracing now as the weekend. So that means tomorrow, if you got to go to work, don't give it your all. Don't give it your all tomorrow. Don't give it your all. You know what I mean?
To him, you're going to get fired.
Coast on Fridays. You know what I mean? Really start today, but really when you go in tomorrow, treat it as if it's just like, you're going in to pick something up, but you ain't really got nothing to do.
You better not.
Yeah, that's the only way. That's the only way to truly enjoy your weekend.
You're going to coast to the unemployment line. You better.
Because we only get one full day. Saturday. If you think about it. You get a night, Friday night, right?
Friday night, yeah.
And usually you're too exhausted from working, so you don't really do nothing on Friday. And then you got all day Saturday. And then Sunday morning you might go to church, or you might sleep in, and you might do bedside Baptist like I do with Bishop T.D. Jakes, meaning I'm in the bed, but I'm watching on YouTube. And then you back at work on Monday. That's not right.
Well, you wouldn't want to do that, though. You wouldn't say that to, like, the teachers who are in the schools with your kids.
Absolutely would.
You wouldn't want them to come to work
I would
and not do anything.
That's a lie. On Fridays, there was nothing like being in school when your teachers would come to school and not want to do anything. Throw a movie on. You know what I mean? Tell y'all have some creative time. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. It's Friday. Enjoy yourself. You would love that if I was a teacher, especially if I was a teacher.
If you're in the airport, you wouldn't want the people there to just take their time while the line is getting longer and longer and not care.
Sure I would. Just go on through. Just going through. It didn't beep at the security. Nothing beeped. Go on. Enjoy yourself. Yes.
All right.
Friday's a nice day to just relax, don't you think?
I mean, every day is a nice day just to relax and put it out there like that. Goodness
but
gracious.
Definitely Fridays.
All right. Well, Reverend Al Sharpton will be joining us this morning.
Okay. He's got a new book out.
He got a new book out. It's called Untold Stories of the Social Justice Movement in America. Righteous Troublemakers. That's right. So we're going to kick it with Reverend Al Sharpton. Love Reverend Al. All right.
And he takes no days off.
No, he takes no days off. Definitely takes no days off.
That ain't true. I done been on vacation with Reverend Al. I didn't seen Reverend Al on vacation.
He probably was still working on that phone.
He definitely was.
Yeah, but he still was doing stuff.
And I'm sure he was still in the gym. Taking selfies. Shout out to Reverend Al. All right, let's get the show cracking. Front page news, what we talking about?
Well, let's talk about NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, and he is talking about racism in the NFL.
All right, we'll get into that next. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. We are the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
To you.
Let's get in some front page news. Now, I believe today is the NBA trade deadline. They've been talking a lot about possibly James Harden going to Philly for Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I saw that. That would make no sense, though.
That would make no sense.
Oh, I mean,
bro, if Ben Simmons can't deal with Philly, he's not going to be able to deal with
he's not going to be able to deal with Brooklyn. I'm talking about for Philly because it's like, you get rid of that piece that is Ben Simmons and you get James Harden. James Harden's going into free agency. I doubt James Harden wants to be on the East Coast. There ain't no nightlife on the East Coast, okay? You come from a state in Texas where there's no taxes. Now you got to pay all this money in taxes here in New York. It's going to be the same thing in Philly. James don't want to be on the East Coast.
Yeah, but at least Philly a will and deal Ben Simmons, who nobody knows where he wants to be.
Yeah, but then Philly's left with nothing after that.
Yeah, but
James Harden leaves in free agency, then what?
But they have nothing now with Ben Simmons. At least
so you get James and try to make a push for the championship.
Yeah, run for the chip, and then hopefully if they do, he'd be like, I'll stay another year. I got Joel Embiid. I got a couple of pieces around me.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know what Brooklyn does with Ben Simmons though.
I don't either. I don't know what Brooklyn does with Brooklyn at this point.
Yeah, because when that press get on Ben Simmons' ass, he thought Philly was rough. Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
All right, what else we got, Yeezy?
Well, let's talk about NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. He made some remarks during the State of the League address leading up to the Super Bowl. And this is all, of course, following that federal class action lawsuit that was filed last week by Brian Flores, who is the former Miami Dolphins head coach. He accused the league, along with 3 NFL franchises, of alleged racial discrimination. Here is what Roger Goodell had to say.
Why does the NFL and its owners have such a difficult time at the highest levels hiring black people into decision-making positions?
We look at the same numbers. We believe in diversity. We believe in it as a value. We believe it's made it stronger. People who've come into the league who are diverse have been very successful and made us better. I think what we have to do is just continue and find and look and step back and say, we're not doing a good enough job here. We need to find better solutions and better outcomes.
That's all he got?
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, the league is roughly 70% black players and only 2 black head coaches among their 32 franchises.
Yeah, I don't know what you can do because you can't change the heart of the owners. And I don't even know if it's, legal to make it mandatory that there has to be a certain amount of, black coaches, black offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, assistant coaches. I don't even know if that's legal. Doubt it.
Right. All they have now is that Rooney Rule. You have to interview for it. Yep. And that's about it. You have to interview black people for open head coaching positions and at least one external minority candidate for a coordinator job. But that doesn't mean you have to hire them.
No, exactly.
Now, one thing that could help is Byron Allen, as you know, is making a bid for the Broncos. He wants to buy the Denver Broncos. That would make him the only majority owner of an NFL team.
What I don't understand is this.
What?
Robert Smith, it's been rumored that Robert Smith wants to make a bid for the Broncos, too. Mm-hmm. Why don't Byron Allen and Robert Smith come together? Like, that makes zero sense to me. Why compete with another black man to buy the team? Because, one of y'all X's the other out. Don't you think? I'm just asking, does it increase your chances of having a black owner if you have 2 people bidding, or does it decrease them? Or does it increase it for y'all to come together?
But it's like it's my business and your business. We might not see eye to eye on a lot of things, but, you have enough money to try to purchase it. I have enough money to try to purchase it.
But y'all both want to buy the team.
Right.
So it's like, why not pool your resources, come together, and, maybe that gives you a stronger chance.
It might be too much mental space. Now, who runs the team? Who's in control?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they both can afford to do it and they both want to, but maybe they didn't necessarily want to team up with each other, they shouldn't have to.
No, they definitely shouldn't.
I think sometimes we cancel each other out when we do things like that.
Nah, but we shouldn't have to.
Actually, might increase the chances of one, because now you have 2 people.
Maybe.
That are different bids. All right, but he said that he was actually encouraged to consider NFL franchise ownership by a pair of prominent league power players. He said NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell and New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft came to me in November of 2019 and asked me to take a good look at buying an NFL team. And after serious consideration, I strongly believe I can effectuate positive changes throughout the league. And for that reason, I will be making a bid for the Denver Broncos.
Now, let me ask you a question. If I own the Denver Broncos right now, can I decide who I want to sell it to?
100%. And it's gonna make it look crazy, for you to turn down 2 black people making a bid.
I mean, because you can, right? You'd be like, you know what? I don't want to sell it to either of them. I don't like the direction they want to take the team. I'll sell it to somebody else, right? And
I don't know how many people are making bids either right now.
You know what I mean? So how does that work?
I have no idea. Me don't.
All right. Well,
that's out of my
that is your
grade.
front page news.
Okay, I'm acting my wage. I don't know nothing about how billionaires, sell their teams. I can't even speculate.
Because even with the Charlotte Hornets, Bobcats, I mean, Bob Johnson had a choice to who he wanted to sell it to, right?
He sold it to Big MJ.
He sold it to Michael Jordan.
But that just makes so much sense on so many different levels. Number one, Michael Jordan is black, but number one, he's the greatest basketball player of all time.
So Michael Jordan wanted to sell it. Hopefully he'd sell it to another brother.
So for the league to have Michael Jordan owning a team, that's great for the NBA.
I agree.
That was a no-brainer.
All right. Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, hit us up right now. Phone lines are wide open. Again, 800-585-1051. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Wake up, wake up.
Wake your ass. This is your time to get it off your chest. Whether you're mad or blessed, we want to hear from you on The Breakfast Club.
Hello, who's this?
It's Walcott from Jersey. Good morning, everybody.
Hey, good morning, man. Get it off your chest, brother.
I just want to briefly address the Jim Jones incident at Gucci.
Yes.
And I believe later on that day or the next day, he went and posted at another European establishment. And I don't say European as negative content. I mean as far as a high-end designer European establishment. So, and he posted it as though it was a win, which in actuality is not. He went from one place that didn't appreciate him or like him because of who he was and didn't give him the proper service, to another place that, although they did, outside the confines of that establishment, they would treat him the same way. We have to learn, and that cliche about going where you are appreciated and not tolerated works in one aspect, but economically it doesn't apply, because we have to go and build our own infrastructure. What would have been the win if Jim would have went right? He's a Harlem cat. If he would have went right over to Lenox, went to Harlem Haberdashery, which has been around for decades and makes some of the best clothes you can see, and said, listen, I'm at home. I just dropped $20,000 in Harlem Haberdashery. I helped a black-owned business. I went where I'm not only tolerated, but where I'm loved, and I helped them grow. We talk in our community about black generational wealth, and we only look at it from an individual family aspect. But there's not going to be any sustained generational wealth without a black infrastructure. So, for instance, and I'm not highlighting you three, but for instance, MVU and Charlamagne, your great-grandchildren, when they spend their money, it's probably going to be in a white community or a white establishment or a white environment, and that's not a knock on them. It's because you guys have reached certain levels economically and socially that the circles that your kids are going to run are not going to be necessarily the ones that you ran in, or predominantly black people run in.
Whoa. Can I say something real quick? I want to say something real quick. I want to say something real quick. You're not wrong, but I'm broke, baby. Okay? Well, I ain't got no goddamn money.
I would say this, though, but you are absolutely positively wrong. I know Charlamagne
you're
and myself,
not wrong.
We're creating businesses for our kids to run. I know my businesses are for our community, whether it comes to the car show, whether it comes to a lot of the other things, it's for our community. So our money will stay in our community. And as far as Jim Jones is concerned, I can't, say or deny, but I do know that was a video that they were shooting, 5 Mics featuring Jim Jones, and 5 Mics is actually a family member of mine, like a real family. They were shooting a video, and they were going from store to store shooting a video talking about shopping, and I don't know how many stores they went to. I think they went to about 7 to 10 stores, and they were just jumping in and out. So they might have went to some black establishments as well, but we only see what they posted.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think this brother's wrong, and I'm not even gonna say it's a class thing, brother, because I don't know if you ever seen that episode of Trigger Warning by Killer Mike, when Killer Mike did an experiment where he purposely was like, I'm not going to spend any money with a white establishment. Everything I spend money on today is going to be with black people. And he caught hell.
What you guys are saying? I'm sorry.
He couldn't find any places.
I'm sorry?
No, he was saying that he couldn't find it. He was saying that Killer Mike,
because it was everything. He was trying to buy like products to wash with.
Yeah, driving cars,
it's
everything.
Very
difficult. Right, because we don't have that infrastructure. And so I guess you guys saw the apple, but Mr. Tree that I was trying to plant as far as our infrastructure will help sustain black generational wealth for all black people once we have infrastructure where we can go spend our money, not just banks and clothing stores, but things overall where we can have a community and our money stays there.
I mean, I agree with you.
Right now, if I became a millionaire, and even with the mindset I have, my great-grandchildren are going to spend when I'm dead and gone, those millions are going to probably end up outside of the community. Look at, you can name any successful black multimillionaire, billionaire. Chances are, when that money is spent, it's going to be spent outside our community. Not because they don't want to spend it inside our community, because we don't have.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
So I just ask that when we say generational wealth, we don't just think about our own immediate circle, because we want to be able to create generational wealth for all of us, like my Latino brothers and sisters.
Yes, sir. We got, my brother. We
brothers and sisters.
We gotta go, but thank you, man. You raised a lot of great points this morning, King.
You definitely did. Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, hit us up now. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. This is your time to get it off your chest, whether you're mad or blessed.
So you better have the same energy.
We want to hear from you on The Breakfast Club.
Hello, who's this?
What's up, Envy?
What's up, Trav?
Yee, what's up, boo?
Hey, Trav.
I missed you.
I miss you too, boo.
What's up, son?
Trav, what up, sis? How you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. First, I just want to say I had an amazing weekend out in New York. Shout out to the Bully and the Peace podcast, L'Oreal, Wax, most importantly, Taylor, for showing me a great time. I mean, yo, y'all should have came, man.
Did Taylor give you that what's that machine called? The machine?
The machine.
Hold on, I got it right here. The auto blow.
The auto blow machine?
No, she gave me like this little. I did get a sex toy from her though, and it like vibrates and like moves up and down.
I think that's the auto blow.
That's the auto blow.
Oh, well, yeah, I got that then.
All right, cool. So what's up though?
Damn,
I
man.
want to talk about Isaiah Rashad real quick.
Envy.
Man,
So what's up though?
I was going to talk about Isaiah Rashad because, you know, his sex tape dropped, and I see a lot of people judging him for being a freak. Let that man be a freak. Like, if he was, like, stop judging people. Like, just like I saw a video of this lady at the sipping paint, and she was being a freak, and they was judging her. Let her be, like, stop judging people.
Yeah,
And you know
right.
what else I noticed too? I'm gonna agree with you, Chav. There is a lot of penis shaming going on too, because I saw Little Fizz. I saw people talking about Nelly.
Now hold on, now Yee. Now, I'm not. Now, Fizz, you just gotta learn your angle. You gotta learn your angle. That's all.
Okay. Well, which one was your favorite?
I mean, I have no favorite. I have no favorite.
But you're Trav, you crazy if you think that people are not going to be judgmental in 2022 on the internet. That's all the internet is. The internet is one big space of judgment.
Hey man, let people live out their kinks, man.
Yeah.
Isaiah Rashad and Lil Fizz got sex tape?
No, I don't think so.
You didn't see Isaiah Rashad's sex tape?
Isaiah Rashad has one. Yes.
No, I didn't see it.
Okay.
Oh well, you might not want to go look at it.
Envy is lying. That video was in the group chat last night.
Oh, that
I was about to say, I'm sure
that's Isaiah Rashad.
Envy be lying, man. Why Envy gonna sit there and lie?
I swear I did not
Somebody
know.
sent us that in the group chat last night. It's live for no goddamn reason. I'm sitting there like that. I'm sitting there thinking like they sent it to me.
I didn't know that was Isaiah Rashad.
Oh please.
So you sent him
You thought you was just watching a random porno.
No. Well, first of all, I'm going to Human Resources because Charlamagne sent me something.
I didn't send you that. That did not come from me. That came from somebody else.
And then, you sure that's Isaiah Rashad?
I didn't look, so I don't know.
Well, I have nothing to do with this.
Well, whoever sent it to me, I'm
God
going to
bless
Human
that,
Resources.
brother.
I just want y'all to know that. Thanks, Trav.
All right, y'all.
Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. We got rumors on the way?
Well, yeah, let's switch gears for a second and let's talk about Danny Lay's brother getting into it with the baby in a bowling alley in L.A.
All right, we'll get into that next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morgan.
It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
What's happening?
Let's get to the rumors. Let's talk the baby.
This is the Rumor Report with Angela Yee on The Breakfast Club.
So listen up.
Well, the baby and Danny Lay's brother, Brandon Bills, got into it at a bowling alley in L.A. It looks like London on the Track was having a party at the bowling alley, and they were all in attendance. And so, just to flash you guys back, Danny Lay's brother, Brandon Bills, does not like the baby because he doesn't like how the baby treated his sister, Danny Lay. Mm-hmm. That's fair, right? And if you recall, Danny Lay and the baby got into, they got into a spat, a disagreement on social media. He was live. He was saying things about her, and Brandon Bills had since said that he wanted to box the baby. And here's what else he had to say on Hollywood Unlocked.
This want to call the cops on my sis. This want to disrespect my sister online for the world to see. Disrespect my family. You Mr. Tough Guy over here beating up bitches, knocking little guys out here and there. You're not gonna do that to me, first off. So this is what we're gonna do, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm in a hospital right now. I got in a car accident. I got a f***ed up neck. I still beat your ass with my neck like this, bro. On God. When you come to the West Coast, bro, one-on-one fade to see what happens between me and you. I want to see how much of a gangster you are, how much of a real man you are.
12 hours
All right, well,
later.
the baby did go to the West Coast, and well, that video's from a while ago, but he did go to the West Coast, and he was at this party at the bowling alley, and he did see the baby at the bowling alley. Brandon Bills was there, and there was an altercation. There's a video of it all over online, and you can see it's the baby and his entourage, and Brandon Bills definitely got slammed onto the bowling alley. Onto the lanes. Now, Danny Lay posted, lame as hell, running up on my brother on some slippery ass floors with 5 or 6 of your boys while he's by himself and not even touching him. Lame and so sad. I pray this stops now because this is my family and I got a daughter to raise. Sad. Now, prior to us seeing this video of the altercation, the baby had posted a picture of himself. It could be related. It could not be related. And he put ain't ish changed First N-word play gets stepped on. And that was the picture and the caption that he posted. And that was about 9 hours ago. Here is what Brandon Bills had to say after this video was released.
Want to grab me by my hair. Didn't catch no fair one. This nigga came and jumped me, my once I slipped. I spoke to you like a man, my I say, yo, come, let's talk one-on-one like some men, my me and you on the side. That's some bitch-ass shit. Ain't no brownie points there, my niggas grab me by my hair on that slippery-ass floor, my out of here, nigga. One person, nigga, I was by myself, and I stood right there, I spoke to you. Well, all your right there, my I bet you that shit would have been, I've been slipping, I would have been throwing, it would have been on, my it would have been on for real.
Well, the reality of the situation is, you know, when you make that kind of threat, the baby and everybody around the baby is on alert for you. So if I'm with all my people and you approach me by yourself, then me and my folks automatically think it's a threat, and you might have something on you.
Yeah.
So I know he asked for the one-on-one fade, but he has to know that wouldn't be the case. You can't pick and choose the outcome of those situations. I keep telling y'all over and over, you cannot control how someone reacts to you. And I will never understand how people can say or do things and then you think you can control a person's response. That's not how life works.
Yeah, and I will say this. If you threaten me online and then I see you in person, it's on site. And if I'm the baby, I have a couple with me, my friends with me.
Everybody's on high alert.
And if they see you, I mean, you lucky. I'll be honest, and I'm not picking a side, but you come into that bowling alley by yourself, you lucky that you were able to walk out. That's God's honest truth.
And I'm thinking if you walking up, that's the name of my late night talk show too. But that's also like if you walk up on me and I'm with all my people and you by yourself, I have to think you got a gun on you.
Correct.
That would just be my mentality, and I know everybody around me's mentality.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I wish everybody the best in this situation.
I agree with Danny Lay in that she hopes it stops now because she does have a family. They do have a child together.
And I disagree with Danny Lay when she said that he didn't get touched. I got eyes.
Right. Okay. Well, Adele is under fire. And now I have to say this is weird. She's being accused of transphobia. And this is all because she was at the Brit Awards on Tuesday. She was getting her prize for Artist of the Year. And that's a newly created category merging the old Best Male and Best Female Artist Awards. So instead of those two separate ones, there's just Artist of the Year. And here's what she had to say.
Well, the name of this award has changed, but I really love being a woman and being a female artist. I do. I'm really proud of us. I really, really am. Thank you so much.
So what did it?
How was that? What's transphobic? What did she say? I missed the transphobia. Where's the transphobia at?
That's what I'm saying. People were attacking her online for that.
We're saying she
and
loves being a woman?
Her saying she's proud to be a woman is transphobic? She's proud to be a woman artist? Huh?
This world has to stop.
I think this is too much now. Because the thing is,
too much
part
now?
of it is the history
Now?
I think it's too much
history of this award, you know, and you can see this is the first time they've merged these two awards together to just make it Artist of the Year. Obviously, women have a lot rougher time in the entertainment industry, so that's how I took it.
I must be missing some context because I just felt like she was saying she's proud to be a woman. What does that have to do with the award merging and everything else? Like I'm so confused. And transphobia, like I'm so confused. What does it all have to do with anything? I must be missing some context.
The reason there was a Best Male and Best Female Artist Award. Now there's just an Artist of the Year award.
Okay, so that means you're the best artist. That means you're the best artist, period.
Correct.
Period.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what's that got to do with anything?
She said she was proud to and loves being a woman and loves being a female artist. People in the audience seemed to like it, but then online people were calling her a TERF. Man. They were saying she was transphobic and that she had used her platform to call for the destruction of the trans community.
Can we stop listening to people online? Seriously, man. Who are these people? Like, if there's not a face to these people, like if these people, you know, aren't someone that you can actually go touch and see, why are we listening to these people?
Angelique, are you proud to be a woman?
Online outrage is silly. All right? Especially for stuff like this.
Yeah, are you proud to be a woman?
Yeah, I'm proud of the accomplishments that I've made in this male-dominated industry.
And y'all do realize in life is always another side, right? Like, just because you, I guess, do something that you think is progressive and all-inclusive doesn't mean the folks you are racing have to like it, I guess.
Can you say can she say she's proud to be a woman?
Who?
Yeah.
Man, leave me alone. I don't know. I don't even know what we talking about right now.
What are you? Are you proud to be a
All right, well,
I am proud to be a black human. Okay.
Well, that is your
and I don't even know
reports.
if I'm really human. I might be an alien.
I'm an alien.
Well, technically, we all are aliens to somebody else. So I am a proud human alien. Okay, because other people on planets other planets look at us as something different. So I am a proud human extraterrestrial.
Aliens will be out there protesting.
And I'm a superhero. All right.
Oh, now you're a superhero.
And I used to think I was Teen Wolf growing up. So I'm proud to be all of that. Okay. I am me.
You're way too little to be Teen Wolf.
That is a lie. What are you talking about? Michael J. Fox wasn't that tall. I'm taller than Michael J. Fox.
You're not taller than Michael J. Fox.
I'll beat you up right now.
You're not taller
Don't
than
you
Michael
play
J.
with me.
You are not taller than Michael J.
Michael J. Fox ain't number 5 feet tall.
And you 4'9".
I am 5'6",
That's a
5'7".
That is a lie.
My posture is correct.
Michael J. Fox is. Hold on, let me get his height right fast.
I'm offended.
He's 5'5".
I'm offended. You're
he's taller than
short
you.
shaming
He's
right
definitely taller than you.
now. I'm taller than Michael J. Fox.
All right, well, that is
You're
your
short
rumor
shaming
report.
right now.
All right, we got front page news next.
Me and all the short people about to protest y'all outside the radio station.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I'm scared.
Yes. Florida story when we come back.
Florida. All right, we'll get to it next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Your mornings will never be the same.
The General Insurance is a quality insurance company that has been saving people money for nearly 60 years. What up, y'all? It's DJ Envy, and you should take a closer look at The General. Call 800-GENERAL or visit thegeneral.com. The General Auto Insurance Services, Inc., an insurance agency, Nashville, Tennessee. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. All right, where we starting, Yeezy?
Well, you know, Super Bowl Sunday is coming up. They did a survey. They said that 48% of fans would like to see the game move to Saturdays moving forward because 14% of Americans call out sick the next day.
That makes sense.
What do you think about that? Saturdays for the Super Bowl.
That's just got to give us Monday off.
Saturdays are cool football days, but it's nothing like Sundays, man. Sundays are the days for football. It just is what it is.
All right, now a couple in Florida was arrested. They allegedly forced their adoptive teen son to live in a small locked structure that was inside of their garage. And they actually had the 13-year-old boy living there for several years. He was uncovered by authorities. He was reported missing from the family's home. A detective was investigating the missing persons case, and they spotted that 8 by 8 foot structure. It had a deadbolt lock and a light switch on the exterior wall. Inside of the box was a bucket, there was a mattress, and there was a camera. Now, the mother said the space was used as an office and for storage, but then police found the missing son at school the following day, and they learned what that was really used for. Through several interviews with the boy, they determined that they had kept him locked up in that box since at least 2017. He was only allowed to leave to go to school. They bought him meals, and he was forced to go to the bathroom in that bucket. They were charged with aggravated child abuse. That family, the Ferreters.
Now,
there
correct me
were
if I'm-
also 3 other kids living inside their home, and they've been placed in custody.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you adopt somebody, don't they have to come and do a wellness check on the house and see where the kid's going to be living and staying and all of that type of stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So what the
So
hell did
I'm
they
sure
show
they
him?
looked in the house and probably inside the house and not that structure. And, you know, but really sad story. So fortunately they did manage to find him and get him out of that situation. But it went on for years. So imagine the type of trauma that child is going to be facing from having had to deal with that.
It makes no
All
sense.
right,
It's like,
now-
you could have just kept him in adoption. Like, that's just silly. Some sick people in this world, man.
All right, now, according to reports, Bob Saget did not die of a heart attack or a stroke. Authorities originally believed that was the case. They said what really happened is he hit an object, possibly the headboard or something like that, but there was a bruise on the back of his head. They said that they believe he didn't know the severity of the injury. He got under the covers, went to sleep, and they said he never woke up and he died from a brain bleed. So they said the toxicology report came back. There was no narcotics or alcohol in his system.
That was horrible. Damn. Send his healing energy to him and his family.
But they always tell you when you hit your head as a kid, or if you have children, if they hit their head, you never go to sleep. You wait
Don't
a
go to
couple of
sleep.
hours. Yeah, even if you hit your own head, they say don't go to sleep for a while.
But clearly he didn't know how severe it was because, you know, sometimes you could hit your head and think it's not a big deal and be like, that's going to leave a bump
Absolutely.
and then go to sleep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is your front page news.
All right. Now, when we come back, Reverend Al Sharpton will be joining us. We're going to kick it with Reverend Al, so don't move. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
It's DJ MV, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
He just keeps getting younger and younger.
That's right. Reverend Al Sharpton.
Say that younger bit again. Say it again.
How you doing, Rev?
I'm great. How you doing?
Blessed, black, and highly favored, man.
All right.
Well, how you been doing during this COVID and pandemic? How's everything been with you, bro?
Everything been good. I mean, luckily I've not had any COVID, and most of my staff around the country has been good. So we've been rolling. If they would just stop killing us, I could stay home. But we had to fight the Ahmaud Arbery case, the case of Daunte Wright, and the George Floyd trial in the middle of the COVID, and do the marches in Washington.
Right.
So we remained active. So I was concerned being out there, but we had to do what we had to do. They didn't stop shooting during COVID, so we didn't stop doing what we had to do.
That's right.
Now you of course you're based out of New York City. There's a lot of crime going on New York right now. How can we get a hold of the crime a little bit and kind of stop these shootings, stop these innocent kids and people getting killed? What do you think?
I mean, I think that we've got to have a balance where we've got to really deal with crime, but at the same time not go overboard where we go back into everybody's a criminal in our community, like Stop and Frisk was. Eric Adams, the new mayor, when I started National Action Network 30 years ago, we had to have 5 people sign for the incorporation. One was a black cop named Eric Adams.
Wow.
So I've known Eric a long time. He's been in the House of Justice, our headquarters in Harlem, 5 times since he was elected. And I've said to him, I've got concerns that we don't go overboard because they're talking about bringing back the plainclothes policemen. So that where they're throwing everybody up against the wall like you're a suspect. But at the same time, we cannot on the ground not be concerned with all these murders and looting going on. So there's got to be community policing. You've got to make the community work with the precincts. You've got to get rid of these cops that are not conducive to that. One of the things is you ought to force the police in New York to live in New York.
So right now they don't. I thought they had to live in no?
You need to have police live in the city. You need to have them in their precincts work with the community groups. And I'm not talking about the funded groups. I'm talking about the grassroots groups on the ground, because people can talk to people that can relate to people. And I think that some of the community groups, those of us like National Action Network that fight police brutality, have got to say we've got to work with people that are responsive to us around this crime issue. I don't want to be mugged. I don't want to be robbed. I don't want to be killed by a cop or somebody in our community that's criminal. The other thing we got to deal with is this mental health situation.
That's
right. The one thing that COVID showed is that something you've been championing, there's a lot of mental health issues, and it's not caused by people. You never saw the amount of mental health people in the streets until COVID. And I think that there's been no real announcement on how we're going to really go and deal with that. I think that is a problem. If somebody stands on a platform at a subway and pushes somebody in front of a train, that's a mental problem. That's not a criminal problem. And you need to doctor that, not just lock it up. When you lock it up, if you let it out in 5 months or 5 years, they still got a problem.
That's right. What you're discussing is, things I'm very concerned about, because it does feel like we're going back to the 94 crime bill days. And, with Biden in office, he's a tough on crime president. I can see that happening.
I marched on Biden and Clinton in 94 about the crime bill. And most of the civil rights community at that time, Charlamagne, was against me. Many of the Congressional Black Caucus members. And I said, wait a minute, y'all are going to lock us up. They had mandatory jail time if you were caught with 2 vials of crack. But you had discretionary time if you had cocaine. I said, well, that's only going to hit us at the bottom. You can't have crack without cocaine.
That's right.
Why aren't y'all hitting the big distributors and all? A half generation of us went to jail for mandatory time under that. Biden was who helped usher it through for Bill Clinton. And people talk about, you can't march against the Democrats. I said, watch me. And we did. And later, I'll give credit, Biden did come to National Action Network about 3 years ago and admitted he was wrong. But, I mean, that's after people had done 20, 30 years.
Right.
So my concern, and I've said this to Eric Adams, and I say this to the Black Caucus now, is that you've got Biden in now, who had done that in the past. I do not want to see them revert back. He has said he will not. But if these cities start pushing him,
that's right,
and all this politics, where are we going with this?
How do you think that they're doing, both Joe Biden and Kamala Harris?
I think Biden got a tough hand with a 50-50 Senate. And I think that I wish that he would have put voting rights bill ahead of the infrastructure bill. He used his capital on the infrastructure bill, We didn't get the voting rights bill. And I think they're going to have a challenge in the midterm elections because we voted for Biden around voting rights and George Floyd Policing Act, police brutality.
That's right.
We've got nothing from it.
That's right.
And we've got to deal with, it's good. Infrastructure is good. I give him credit on that. Some of the things are good. He's not Donald Trump. But the things that we wanted, we've not gotten, and we don't see a clear path. They need to make it clear how we do that. In terms of Kamala Harris, a vice president, if she goes too far out there, you're overshadowing the president. Mm-hmm. If you don't go far enough, what are you doing? So she's in a very precarious position.
Wow.
All right, we got more with Reverend Al Sharpton. When we come back, don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We're still kicking it with Reverend Al Sharpton. Charlamagne?
You know, you got the new book, Righteous Troublemakers, Untold Stories of the Social Justice Movement in America. What is the book about?
I wanted to come out, especially during Black History Month, because growing up in the movement in the North, it occurred to me there were people that I didn't know about, and clearly the public didn't know about, that made real changes, and they played them off to the side. And what happened was last year when we had the big march on Washington around George Floyd and the cases, we had over 200,000 people in the middle of a pandemic, and we're walking to the stage, to the steps where we're going to speak right where Dr. King spoke, Martin Luther King III, and me, families of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Aubrey, all of them were there. And there was this old man in the crowd jumping up and down with something in his hand. And the security guys around me just kept us moving. I said, wait a minute, what is that old man doing? And they said, keep moving, Reverend. I said, no, get that old man. And they brought him over to me. And he said, he looked like he was in his 80s. He said, Reverend, this is a button. And they read the button, March on Washington, 63. Wow. He said, I was here in 63 with Dr. King, and I wanted to be here with you today. And he just went back in the crowd.
Wow.
A couple of 100,000 people.
Wow.
And I thought about it. It haunted me for a while. I said, how many people that knew they were not going to be in the newspaper in the morning, they knew they were not going to be interviewed on TV tonight, these are the people who take their money for unrecognized reasons and made the movement work. And I wanted to profile them. Most people don't know there was a black woman arrested for refusing to give up her seat in the front of the bus in Montgomery, Alabama, 9 months before Rosa Parks. They didn't make a rally around her, make a symbol out of her, because they said she was too dark-skinned and she was pregnant and not married.
Wow.
I write about her. There was an attorney named Paulie Murray who wrote a lot of the legal work that Thurgood Marshall used in the historic Brown versus the Board of Education Supreme Court case. They would not pump her up, blow her up, as we would say, because she was a woman and gay. So I wanted to write a book about, look, these people paid dues. These people made it possible for us to get where we are, and they didn't get no limelight. And I figured, well, I have some shine on me. I wanted to shine it on those that I know. I know down through the years, if I had called marches and nobody came, I'm just a guy going for a walk. So it's time to sometimes say, it's time for sometimes to say, wait a minute, you know these people back here are sacrificing. I'm going to get a little profile. But they ain't getting nothing. They're the real champions of the movement.
Absolutely.
You know, you talked about the 80-year-old man who came to your march, and, you know, you're an OG, Rev. So why don't I feel like I don't see the older and younger generations of leaders working together more? Not just folks that's already on your team, but like, you know, the Tamika Mallorys, the Kimberly Johnsons.
I think a lot of it
Kimberly Jones, I'm sorry.
I think a lot of it is that everybody wants to make their brand, make their name. And I think you got to give them space. I came up, generation ahead of me was John Lewis and Jesse Jackson and them. I wanted to make my own bone. So I don't interfere with that. But I think that what has to happen is those that have traditional organizations like ours need to be working with the young people in our organization, because some of them come out of our organization. And there should be a bond in there. I think a lot of them feel, well, if I'm too much around Sharpton or the head of NACP is going to overwhelm me. They need to get their own brand, but work with other people, because the movement going to have to be continued beyond us. I don't care who we are. We ain't going to last forever. And I think you're right. We've got to have that continuity of struggle. Like right now, they've got all kind of stuff out there against Black Lives Matter. And I talked to some of them and said, wait a minute, we need to know what's real, what's not real, so we can stand together. I remember when about 20 years ago, press was on me about something. And Reverend Jackson called me, who was, like a mentor to me, but we hadn't been talking. And he said, Al, I keep telling you that an oak tree can only be covered in the forest by another oak tree. A bush can't cover it because it's not tall enough. Oak trees need to cover oak trees.
Absolutely.
And that's the kind of maturity we need from both the young and the old. The old can't hold on too long, and the young can't act like they just invented the wheel. We all got to try to find a way to do it.
What's the Bible say? Old folks for counsel, young folks for war, right?
That's right.
So,
exactly right.
So, I mean, it sounds like you open to giving that counsel.
I'm open to give that counsel, but they need to want the counsel. I don't need to impose it. But I'm saying whether I give the counsel or not, they ought to be working together. And I can counsel through our young people. Tyleek McMillan, I got a 25-year-old youth leader that's great. I think all of us need to do what we got to do. And it's not only in the movement, it's in hip-hop. I mean, I was talking to a young sister at our youth. We have a group that we call Huddle that our young people meet every week. So I don't go every week, but I was in my office one night. And I said, let me show you some stuff. I'm going to impress her. She was 15, 16. And I said, here's a picture with me and Puffy. And here's a picture with me and this one. And I did Michael Jackson's funeral. She said, oh, do you know any young artists? And I'm like, okay. But to them, guys 50 years old are OGs.
Somebody just told us something earlier that just made us feel dumb. He
made you hype.
He's like, y'all were born in the 1900s.
Yeah.
We were, though.
Yeah.
But I was like, that just make it sound like we was born a long time ago.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I was going to ask, with everything going on, I just wanted your opinion on some of the things. I want to start off with Whoopi Goldberg.
I mean,
what are your thoughts on that?
All right, first of all, there's no doubt Hitler went after the Jews as a race.
Absolutely.
Because he went for the white supremacist, white Aryan. It was based on race. There are the debates about whether it's race or religion. But the challenge that you had is the Holocaust was based on race, about an Aryan nation.
That's right.
Now, the question becomes, for me, in this cancel culture, is how you can suspend Whoopi, but you got all kind of maturations around Joe Rogan.
I was going to ask you about that
So,
after.
So what's the standard here?
You feel like
I think it's based on company. I think it's the company you work for.
I think it's the company, and I think it's whether or not you can put public pressure. ABC is different in terms of the corporate lineup than Spotify is.
What do you think about what Joe Rogan said, and do you think more should have happened?
I think, again, it's the company's got to deal with it. I think the fact that the company's losing a lot of people, if they're going to choose him over them, then we know who they are. And I think, somebody asked me, TMZ, are you calling on them to fire him? Are you going after him like years ago you went after Imus? I said they may want us to do that. We've got to be strategic. We knew the vulnerability of CBS and NBC. Spotify is a different structure. Like right now, we had jumped on NFL, and we had a meeting the other day with Goodell. You've got advertisers. You've got public finance that NFL has to deal with. Where's your nerve point with Spotify? Those go back to counseling. Those of us that's been in this a while need to always tell people you got to pick the fights you can win, and not all motion ain't movement.
All right, we got more with Reverend Al Sharpton when we. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We're still kicking it with Reverend Al Sharpton. Now, you said you had a meeting with Roger Goodell from the NFL. How did that go?
We had a Zoom meeting. I wrote him a letter Friday, asked for a meeting, and on Monday, Mark Morial of the Urban League, Derek Johnson, the NACP, Reverend Barbara Skinner, and Melody Campbell and I had a meeting. And we told him the Rooney Rule is out the window. It's not worked. When you look at the Belichick text message that he sent to the wrong Brian rather than Brian Flores, he was sending it to the white Brian. He was sending it to Brian Flores. It shows that they were just going through the motions, act like we interviewed a black, and let it go. So you need to get rid of the Rooney Rule. We need rules that well, not rules necessarily, but we need timetable, target dates, achievements, assessments, hard calendar. Anything other than that is unacceptable. I said, now let me tell you this, Commissioner Goodell. This is not just about jumping up and down outside the stadium, which I've done. This is about all of your 32 teams get public financing. People don't understand the taxpayers are paid for these stadiums to be built. The taxpayers are paying a lot of tax abatements. We'll go into these city councils in these cities and have them vote because no city councilman is going to get up there and vote against us on saying the NFL has 32 teams, never had a black winner, a black owner rather. 32 teams now only have 2 black coaches. So we can go the public route and we can tell your advertisers that if they advertise with you next Super Bowl, you got a problem with us. Let's sit down and talk. He said that we're going to have concrete meetings. I don't want, first of all, I don't want Brian Flores to be the next Colin Kaepernick. I think too many just walked over Kaepernick and didn't deal with the reality of that nothing should have went forward until that man has his job back. We don't want that to happen to Brian Flores. And secondly, I think that we've got to go through, if it's a year marker or 6-month marker, when do we see ownership? When do we see the amount of black coaches increase?
Is it legal to say, look, y'all have to have a mandatory amount of black coaches in the NFL?
It's not legal if you say the number.
Okay.
It is legal to say that it has to be more diverse. And a city council can say there's not enough diversity for us to give public funds. They don't have to give a number. Just say we can't invest public funds in an entity that historically has not shown diversity.
I want to go back to something you were saying about cancel culture. Do you think we have enough conversations around how culture and society change? Because one of my favorite books is Dr. Peniel Joseph, The Sword and the Shield. But if you read about Martin Luther King Jr. back then, and just, he didn't want women to lead the movement, wouldn't let women speak, at rallies, things like that. Like, people would call that misogynistic. They would call it sexist. They would say, he was terrible to his wife. So in this era, they probably would want to cancel him.
Yeah.
So it's like, shouldn't people be allowed to grow and evolve, and shouldn't we have discussions about how culture has changed?
If we're going to be honest, all of us has grown and evolved.
That's right.
And I think that we've got to be able to correct people without canceling them. I mean, who among us would not be canceled for anything?
That's right.
And I think that sometimes we have taken it too far. I think, yes, some people ought to be totally dismissed if they do an overt act that is against the interests of the public. But if you're evolving and misspeak, if you're evolving and do something inadvertently that was not hate-filled, you can evolve. You sit down and talk about that. And I think that they've used this in a way that I think is dangerous.
For President Joe Biden, right, and he with him asking for all these different things when he was on this campaign trail, and he promised all these different things, and the fact that he's not doing that, where do we go as a people?
I think the issue we're going to have is during the midterms is that if we vote a new Senate in, and if we vote a new House in, it gives him more to work with. Now, whether we are pro-Biden or not, he's going to be there another 2 years. His reason that he can't do a lot now is only 50-50. Well, if he gets more senators, then you have no excuse. If you get more congressmen, you have no excuse, which is why it is vital that we get past these voting impediments that they're putting up. The Republicans had a long plan. They said that we are going to take the federal courts and the Supreme Court. They just decided that they were not going to turn over the Alabama voting restrictions. Why? Because Donald Trump, with all of his imbecilic kind of actions, put 3 people on the Supreme Court. So you can say what you want. That's why I'm saying we all got to sit down and deal with strategy. And you mentioned a great book with Peniel, is that there always has got to be people that do things differently, but we've got to be going the same place. And I think that we have got to say, if we deliver Georgia, if we deliver North Carolina, if we deliver this, we expect this, that, or the other. And y'all got 2 years to do it, or you're going to suffer in 24. We certainly can't go back and support people that are just outright or saying that Trump won the election.
So why do you think? I was going to ask, what are your thoughts? Yesterday it was all over social media. You're on social media about the crack pipe bill. That the president's going to be giving away crack pipes and this, that, and what were your thoughts on that bill that he passed yesterday and the fact that he's given that bill where it's talking about helping black people?
I mean, I think, again, are you trying to personify us with crack pipe? It just gives me
That's what it felt like.
Yeah. It just gives me an eerie feeling of going back to 94. And I don't want to go back there. And I think that if we start accepting that in conversation, it will then materialize in the legal community, and that's dangerous.
Well, it also, too, it was the grant, and the grant is for what the provision of smoking kits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To help, what do they call it? The safe. It's basically like safe drug use to make sure they don't spread diseases with needles and things like that.
But the language and the way they spend it, I think can give the wrong kind of inference.
Why do you think there's not more of an uproar over the fact that our voting rights are being taken away?
I don't understand it. I mean, we are sitting around and they stripping us one right after another. And I think that we've got to. It's funny. I was in Miami over the weekend for the anniversary of Trayvon Martin, and I was telling the crowd at the dinner. I said we cannot get into just going for what is trendy and not deal with the solid issues. There's nothing more solid about the voting thing. Everything you do, I meet people all the time, not just young people, old people. I'm not into politics. Yes, you are. The clothes that you wear was approved through some agency that said that apparel's approvable. The food you eat, FDA had to approve it. Everything is political. The question is whether you have enough self-respect that you're going to say, I'm going to decide who's going to make decisions on my life. I was riding around many years ago with a brother who was from a different part of the movement than me, but we were friends. And we was riding in Atlanta, Georgia. And he said to me, Red Mal, I don't follow no rules like y'all, no legislation like y'all. I just do my own thing. I'm black, 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 black. I said, then why did you just stop for that red light? And he looked at me and laughed. I said, you follow what is going to protect you.
That's right.
Yeah. The man that put that red light there gave you regulations. So let's quit playing with ourselves and get down to some real basics.
When you wake up every morning, how do you decide what's on the agenda for today? With so much going on, we just named a bunch, right? But then, we're still fighting for housing, and the fact that they're not giving us loans, and the fact that the areas that we live in are praised a lot lower than other areas. We're still fighting for cannabis, and the fact that a lot of us been arrested and locked up and spent years in prison, but not too many of us own dispensaries, not too many own licenses. How do you decide what's the fight of the day, or what's the, because there's so much going on?
You gotta do what I have a staff of 51 nationwide, regional offices in 6 cities. You gotta deal with our basic thrust in National Action Network has been dealing with racial violence and voting rights. That's why Mark Morial and I work together in NAACP and like what they call the traditional organization. Everybody takes the area they have expertise in because you can't be all over the place. So if it comes up with a police shooting or a racial killing like Aubrey, they defer to me because National Action Network has the staff to do that. I do that and all that. If it's something about economic development, I defer to Mark Morial. The way I always like to say it is one year I spoke at NAN's convention and said we got to be like geese. If you watch geese fly, there's one goose out front, and he's flanked by everybody else, and they go. The one out front takes all of the hits, all of the gnats, all of the wind first, and he takes it as long as he can. Then he folds back in, and another geese come in. We got to at least have geese sense.
Wow, at least have geese sense. That's real.
Absolutely.
Well, listen, man, Righteous Troublemakers, Untold Stories of the Social Justice Movement in America from the Reverend Al Sharpton is available right now.
That's right.
Thank you for coming, brother.
Thank you for having me. Always good to see y'all.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, it's Reverend Al Sharpton. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
What's going on? Rumor Report. This is the Rumor Report with Angela Yee on the Breakfast Club.
Well, are you ready for a different kind of verses at the 2022 NBA All-Star Weekend? Well, Allen Iverson is going to compete, and he'll be competing against Tracy McGrady. Are y'all ready to see that?
That's very interesting. I'd like to see how they do it.
I'm actually DJing it.
Okay.
So it'll be their best highlights throughout their career, and it'll be a live stream presentation. Now, Envy, I already know Allen Iverson is your favorite of all time.
Absolutely. Shout out to AI.
That's two totally different styles, though.
It is.
Like when Tracy McGrady used to finish around the rim, he would finish around the rim with dunks and all of that kind of stuff. But, AI ball handling skills was second to none. So it's just like, that's two different total styles. How do you even judge that?
It depends what you like. You like rim action or you like ball handling? I hate you. Why you looking at me?
Yeah. I feel like he's good at both. All right. And Taylor Rooks will be the official host for the event. So I'm sure that's going to be really dope to watch.
I think Fat Joe's doing something too. But, AI, he crossed over. Why are you looking at me like that, man? Yo, stop looking at me. Go ahead, G.
All right. You guys done?
We done. We finished.
All right. I didn't bite the bait, Angela Yee, if you notice. He put that worm out there, but I didn't put my mouth nowhere near it.
I didn't put no worm out there, but Iverson is his handling skills. He crossed over Jordan. I think Iverson. It's gonna be.
Why are you stuttering? What's going on?
Because Charlamagne is making me uncomfortable, man.
Oh, I'm making you uncomfortable?
You are.
Wow.
Yes, you are.
All right.
All right. Well, speaking of sporting events, Will Smith and Peacock have dropped their Bel Air Super Bowl commercial spot. Listen to this.
Now this is a story all about how we here goody guys turn upside down.
Well, I just take a minute, just sit right there.
Tell you how became the prince of a town called Bel Air.
In West Philadelphia, born and raised.
On the playground is where I spent most of my days.
When a couple of guys who were up to no good
started making trouble in the neighborhood.
I got a mortal in a fight. My mom got scared. She said, "You wonder what you want to get uncle in Bel Air."
What is this? What was
commercial? Now, the way they did this commercial was he got people from all over the world to join him in their own rendition of the theme song. So people submitted videos of themselves singing or performing the theme song. They cut it up and edited it for that Super Bowl spot.
I'm going to watch.
That reggaeton one sounded amazing.
Yeah, I'm going to watch. I just don't know how I feel about Dark Fresh Prince, but I can't judge it until I see it, right? But I'm going to watch.
All right, now another commercial you'll be able to see during the Super Bowl is for Squarespace, and Zendaya stars in that. Andre 3000 makes an appearance, and he also does the voiceover. Listen to this.
Sally sold seashells by the seashore, but the seashells didn't sell so well. So Sally set up a seashell store on Squarespace. Soon her seashells started selling. Sally was such a seaside sensation, she also sold swanky seashell accessories, seashell serenity sessions, savory seaside snacks, even seashell excursions of the seashore. Sally's seashells were so successful, she sailed into the setting sun as a seashell celebrity.
Shucks.
All right, so getting ready for these Super Bowl commercials.
I know that check was stupid. I know the check
you know it was.
Andre 3000 got for that was stupid, especially to get Andre 3000 to do something, because he's not even motivated.
All right. And Eminem is launching a Mom Spaghetti LA pop-up shop, and that's going to be for the Super Bowl. So if you are in downtown LA, they're going to have that there, and it'll be open on it's open now, and it stays open all the way up until Sunday. So it'll also be available on Postmates. You can order that as well. He just opened that Mom Spaghetti location in Detroit in September of last year. I'm in Detroit right now. I just stopped by there. All right. And Snoop Dogg now officially owns Death Row Records. So congratulations to him.
Yeah, shout out to Snoop.
According to our press release, he'll be leading the brand for the coming years as its new owner. And he did emphasize how excited he is to have this great brand. He said, "I'm thrilled and appreciative of the opportunity to acquire the iconic and culturally significant Death Row Records brand, which has immense untapped future value."
Does he own the brand and the music, or just the brand? That's what I want to know.
Right? Yeah, I was curious too. Did he own the masters? Is it the music, or is it just, the new brand?
Well, I guess... yeah, where I'm not sure how the whole deal works out, but I'm sure in the coming days we'll find out. But yes. Now, in the meantime with Snoop Dogg, he's being sued, according to TMZ, for sexual assault. A woman is saying that he forced oral sex on her back in 2013. Now, Snoop Dogg's representative has responded to this, and they're saying that the woman is filing this suit on the heels of the Super Bowl, hoping that she'll get a payday from it.
That's right.
So according to the woman, she says that she attended back in 2013 one of Snoop's shows in Anaheim, California, and Bishop Don Juan, who is a longtime associate of Snoop's, we all know Bishop Don Juan, offered her a ride home. She said she was exhausted and fell asleep at his house and awoke at 4 a.m. the next morning, and that's when the bishop removed his penis from his pants and forced his penis in her face. She also says that the bishop gave her a dress, told her to put it on so they could go to Snoop's studio. He said, I want to see if they'll make you the weather girl for some TV show. And she said that she's a model and a dancer. She said she went to Snoop's, had a stomach ache, so she went to the bathroom. And while she was on the toilet, Snoop walked in and stood with his crotch in her face and forced oral sex on her. Now, afterwards, she said, Bishop said, come on, take a picture with Snoop. And she said she was scared. So that's why she took the photo. And then Snoop wouldn't hire her because she refused to willingly and enthusiastically give oral sex. Now, Snoop denies everything. He posted an image on his Instagram and said that she is a gold digger. The woman wanted just a little bit under $10 million, and that demand was rejected, according to sources.
If you thought for 1 second they, and I have no idea who they is, weren't going to come at Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and Eminem the week of the Super Bowl where they doing the halftime show, you out of your damn mind. I knew they was going to pull up something. I thought it would be like old lyrics or something from an old interview, but they went straight criminal. And I'm glad they see the play because they went to Snoop's team, told Snoop's team there's an allegation, and unless you pay such and such, we going to sue. And they thought he would settle because he didn't want the bad press for the Super Bowl. His team said no, and they sued and leaked the story. And I bet you they still hoping he pays now to make it go away. If you can't see the play, I don't know what to tell you.
All right, well, that is your rumor report.
All right, thank you, Miss Yee. Now, when we come back, Charlamagne, who you giving your donkey to?
You know, it's kind of an update because I gave this person Donkey of the Day last year, but she just got sentenced. Mary Margaret Cooper. She's a nun. She needs to come to the front of the congregation. We'd like to have a word with her.
All right, we'll get into that next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Your mornings will never be the same.
The General Insurance is a quality insurance company that has been saving people money for nearly 60 years. What up, y'all? It's DJ Envy, and you should take a closer look at The General. Call 800-GENERAL or visit thegeneral.com. The General Auto Insurance Services, Inc., an insurance agency, Nashville, Tennessee.
I was born a donkey.
It's the Donkey of the Day.
That's time for the donkey of the day. That's pretty funny.
Charlamagne the devil?
Possibly. The Breakfast Club.
Yes, Donkey of the Day for Thursday, February 10th goes to 80-year-old Mary Margaret Cooper. She's a nun, okay? What is a nun? Well, I did some research this morning, and by research, I mean Google. And a nun is a woman who vows to dedicate her life to religious service. Nuns take vows that vary by faith and order, but often involve dedicating themselves to a life of poverty and chastity. That means no money, no sex, right? Ironically, that's most prostitutes' motto, too. Okay? Some nuns devote themselves to prayer, while others, known as religious sisters, serve their community by helping the poor, teaching in schools, or providing health care. Nuns are not allowed to marry, use social media or smartphones. They can't own property or engage in sexual relationships. Basically, nuns are like that boring-ass piece of grilled chicken you eat for dinner 2 times a day when you eat and clean when you're on your workout vibes, okay? I'm not knocking them at all. It takes extreme discipline to be a nun, but imagine doing all that. And when it's all said and done, you and Kodak Black in heaven together, okay? And ain't no VIP. Once you pass those pearly gates, y'all are all in the same section. Imagine. But then again, nuns probably have so much peace. No social media, no smartphone. Must be amazing for your mental and emotional health. And their pH balance has never been thrown off by a dirty penis. So it's a million benefits, I'm sure, to being nun. But all nuns are not created equal, okay? And Mary Margaret Cooper proves that. In fact, I would say that most nuns are fronting and doing the best they can, just like the rest of us, okay? There's no such thing as perfect people. We all fall short. And I don't knock anyone for the attempt. Just don't be a hypocrite and judge the rest of us publicly when you know you're doing the same sins, if not worse, privately. Now, if you remember, I gave Mary Margaret Cooper Donkey of the Day last summer for doing this. Let's go to KCAL CBS 9 for the report, please.
A retired nun tonight is now facing fraud and money laundering charges in connection with an embezzlement scheme. 79-year-old Mary Cooper was the principal of St. James Catholic School in Torrance for almost 3 decades. Prosecutors say she stole more than $835,000 in school funds, including tuition and charitable donations. Cooper is accused of using that money to pay credit card bills and lavish gambling trips to Las Vegas. She has agreed to plead guilty to wire fraud and money laundering charges. She now faces up to 40 years in federal prison.
830 plus grand to fund her gambling habit. All right? Thou shalt not steal is one of the 10 commandments. That's an alleged big one, guys. Okay, Moses wrote that on a stone tablet. All right, I know tweets of the new stone tablets, but back in the day, it took a lot of work to get a chisel and write that in stone. Thou shalt not steal. That's 17 characters. All right, let that be a lesson to all you long tweeters and folks who like to post long captions. Less is more. All right, now the Bible doesn't specifically say you shouldn't gamble, but it does say money is the root of all evil. So gambling falls under that, even though the whole Bible is technically a gamble because we break every rule the Bible tells us not to break and hope that the whole forgiveness, repentance thing works out for us. That is a gamble. Okay, I'm saying all that to say, oh, married and none was out here sinning like the rest of us, okay? Well, she's been sentenced for those sins. Can we go to Local 12 WKRC for the report, please?
This was Sister Mary Margaret Cooper as she headed into the federal court building in downtown LA last July to plead guilty to wire fraud and money laundering. Today, she went back to court to be sentenced for her crimes. The 80-year-old was the longtime principal at St. James Catholic School in Torrance. During her final decade at the school, the feds say Cooper embezzled more than $835,000. They say she used that money to support her gambling habit, take trips to Las Vegas, Lake Tahoe, and Temecula, as well as to pay personal expenses. The feds say Cooper regularly falsified school financial records to hide her crimes. Then, in an attempt to cover up what she'd done, they say she ordered school employees to alter records and destroy documents during an audit that exposed the theft.
I think all the time all these PPP scammers getting, all right, for scamming. Okay, 1 year in prison for an 80-year-old woman. This is Mary. Okay, I'm holding up a picture of Mary right now. This is Mary. Now, the max was 40 years, all right? She ended up getting 1 year. Was it sympathy because she's grandma? Was it white privilege? Or was it God? Was it prayer? Was it all the other nuns coming together to pray for Mary? I don't want to hear nothing about those sins, those broken laws, that violation of vows, commandments, whatever you want to call them. Mary, you made a choice. And you knew the choice you was making, okay? You knew the choice you was making was against all of those things you stood for when you did it, and you did it for a decade, a whole decade. Mary, you're 80. Now, I know we all mature at different times, but by 70, you should have it all figured out. I'm sure you make bad decisions when you're 70 because, hey, you never been 70 before, but I think by 70, we should all be past the life of crime, unless, of course, we are just criminals. Okay, career criminals, but I'm not here to judge. That's God's job. All I want to say is don't pretend to be something you're not. Okay, the real you will always catch up. You can't lead two lives, and we as people have to be careful, okay, because not everything is what it seems to be, all right? And not all people are, what they seem to be. Some people pretend to be the beach, but they're actually quicksand. That is what Mary was. Please give Mary Margaret Cooper the biggest hee-haw. 1 year, $835,000.
So yeah, she got a year and a day.
Stealing from the church, stealing from that school for a decade. A decade of scamming.
And they want her to give the money back, right? Pay the money back, restitution?
Oh, you ain't getting the money back. She said, you got to get that back in blood. I'm 80 years old, and I got to do a year and a day. I'll be 81 when I come home, maybe 82, depending on when her birthday land. Please.
So let me ask you a question. I'm sure there's somebody out there right now that did a PPP scam and is scared.
Big time they got, too.
Right? And they got a lot more time than Mary did. Is that fair?
Of course it's not fair. What do you mean?
It's not right.
Of course it's not fair. We know that. But it might have been God.
You're right.
Might have been prayer. I doubt it.
I doubt it too.
I doubt it. God be ignoring y'all. Y'all be praying. Some things y'all pray to God for, he sends to his spam folder. Or she sends to her spam folder. I'm telling y'all that right now.
All right.
Isn't Baby Blue from Pretty Ricky going to jail right now?
I think he only got a year.
Himself for this?
I think he only got a year. So maybe he prayed.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Or maybe somebody praying for him too.
All right.
They said he got more than $24 million from that. So
Lord have mercy.
Oh, he's doing better than Mary.
He definitely did better than Mary.
All right. Well, thank you for that donkey today. Up next, Ask Yee, 800-585-1051. If you need relationship advice or any type of advice, call Yee now. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
What you want to know? Baby mama issues? Need some words of wisdom? Call up now for Ask Ye. 800-585-1051. The Breakfast Club. Come on. Need relationship advice? Need personal advice? Just need real advice. Call up now for Ask Ye. Keep it real.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. It's time for Ask Yee. Hello, who's this?
Hello.
Hey, what's your question for Yee?
Hey, Angela. Okay, so I've been talking to this guy for a year and a half, and he's been in really bad relationships, a bad marriage and everything, but he doesn't. We do everything together. He's a really sweet guy, but he doesn't like titles. Like, he considers me his girlfriend, but he doesn't want to say that.
Ooh, he's got some issues.
He does, and he says, like, he's told me before, like, he really needs to heal, and he's told me, like, he's broken before, and he's like, but if I talk to somebody else, or, like, he'll get upset, and I know he doesn't talk to anybody else, but we just don't have a title, and he's asked, like, what's the difference, so I'm just wondering, like, is it worth the wait? Is it, like, a waste of my time? Like, what's your opinion?
So everything else is great. You don't think that he's doing anything else. He doesn't want to be with anybody else. You just don't have a title. He doesn't introduce you like, this is my girlfriend.
Right. Like, I've met his family, and it's just, hey, y'all, this is Nicole. Like, yeah, I've met all his friends. Like, we've gone out of town. We've traveled with my friends. But it's just, this is Nicole. That's it.
All right. And it bothers you?
It does. It does.
So what is it that you want?
Like, we've gotten arguments about it before, and like, he's apologized, and he's told me, like, he never wants another committed, like, relationship like that. And
so is he committed or is he not committed? That's what I'm confused about, because if he's committed and he's saying he is, but then he's saying he doesn't want a committed relationship, it's confusing.
Right. And that's where my dilemma is. So some of my girlfriends are like, wait it out, and then like people are like, y'all together, and I'm like, but we're not. And I'm like,
it feels like he's making it more complicated than it has to be. If he's not talking to anybody else, you're not. You're the person he wants to be with. Everything else is amazing. It's just no title. But he has told you that he has some trauma from his past relationships, right?
Right. Yes.
And so being sensitive to that, and this is a man that you care about, how is he dealing with that?
Like he does, like, he's into meditation and everything. He talks to me about, like, everything, like, even like on his bad days when somebody has made him upset. He's truly like he said that, like, he's like, man, you're like my soulmate, man. Like, you're everything that, like, I've wanted, and like he considers me like his true, like, best friend. But like, the title of a wife or a girlfriend or anything like that, like, it freaks him the heck out.
Yeah. Do you see any evolution from when you first started dating him to now? Do you feel like things are getting better?
I do. I really do. Like, the minute I say, like, hey, I have, like, when am I going to meet your son? And like, I did that. Like, he did that. Like, the next couple of months, like, why do you introduce me to your friends and family? He like, okay, no problem. Here you go. Like, and it's not like a one-time thing, like, just to make me happy. Like, I've met his family more than one time after that, So if whatever I have an issue with, which is what you do in a relationship, like, he's fixed it.
Right. Okay. So, I mean, it feels like everything is commendable. I wouldn't want you to create problems if there are none, but I also don't want to downplay how you feel, because there's two things going on here. He still has his trauma. He's been open and honest with you about it. And he says he doesn't want to, quote, be committed, but he is committed. So it feels like he has some things he needs to work out, and he does need to get maybe some professional help to really discuss and delve into the things that he needs to do. He says he's meditating, and you say he's meditating, and everything else is amazing. But I also want to make sure that you get what you want. So what I think is that there has to be, what is the end goal here? Does he plan to ever get married again?
We've talked about that. Like, even if it's not, we just brought it up in discussion. He's like, I don't think I can. And I'm like, okay, I've been married before, and I'm like, okay, well, and I know people have been, I know you've talked about it. Like, people could be in relationships for like 15 years and never really truly be married legally. you know. So I'm truly okay with not ever getting married again. Like, he's been there, I've been there, you know.
So what is it that bothers you? Is it that you feel like you guys aren't exclusive? Is it that you want him to introduce you a certain way?
I think that's what it is for me. Yeah.
Which one?
And I want it to be like introduced a different way.
So how does he introduce you?
Just as Nicole. Like, this is, hey mom, this is Nicole. Like, he'll just like, it's just, but it's not, this is my friend. He never says like, this is my friend Nicole, or like, this is my girl. It's just, this is Nicole.
Okay.
So like, when
listen,
family,
I would say
they're like, go ahead.
They know what it is though. Like, I'm sure his family knows what he's been through.
Right. Oh no, they have. That is correct. They have.
Okay. So it feels like you're being really patient with him and you're helping him work through his problems and his issues. And I do feel like sometimes putting pressure on somebody when they're not ready for it and they've been vocal about how they feel about something, it leaves the ball in your court as far as to what you want to do. And so the ball is in your court. I do feel like if he's doing everything that you want and everything that you need, I wouldn't give up on him.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right, no problem. Y'all just keep working through it. Keep having a good time, enjoying yourself. But just let him know that at some point, this is something that will have to be addressed again when he's more comfortable to discuss.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right, good luck.
All right, good luck.
Ask
Thank
Ye.
you. Bye-bye.
800-585-1051. If you need advice, hit her right now. Phone lines are wide open. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
I'ma keep it real with you. With some real advice with Angela Yee. It's Ask Yee.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. We're in the middle of Ask Yee. Hello, who's this?
Hello.
Hey, what's your name?
Hey, my name's Naisha. How are you guys?
Hey, Naisha, how you feeling?
Good. On my way to work.
All right. What's your question for you?
So, I have a really good, I would say good business plan for me to open up a coffee shop. Now, it's a little different. I have a lot of ideas that go into it, and I have a lot of ideas for continuous profit and stuff like that. But I work a job that's like 70 hours a week, and I never really have time to like work on my business plan. So all my ideas are just in my head. So I guess my question is, how do I find time to work on my business? And also, I don't have money to open a business. So I guess also that, how do I find investors? What's the best way to fund a business? What is your business? So my goal is to open a coffee shop. I don't want to give too much details because it has really good, so I don't know. I just don't know what I should do to start this business. I don't know how to start, reaching out to people to find investors and stuff like that.
Well, I will say when you open a business, I own a coffee shop. And one of the main things you need to think about is the location. Where are you going to have this location so that it'll be profitable? The number one reason that brick and mortar businesses fail is because of location. So make sure you do your due diligence, right? This is a time for you to be planning, to make sure that you do all the research that you need to do. Look at competing brands, other places, spaces that you like, do the research, put together a deck. But you have to create time if you want to start a business, or else it won't work. Now, is there anybody that you know that you could partner with also, or somebody that you could use as a consultant? Because I know you said you don't have money, but is there some type of equity or somebody that would be equally passionate?
Yeah, my boyfriend. We both are working on this plan. We have, our own inputs, our own ideas. I've written stuff down. I've taken the time to write everything down, to write down all the legal questions that I may have, because it is going to be involved with cannabis. So I live in Florida, and right now it's only legal medically. So my kind of idea is to open a place where people can maybe use their medicine and be in a chill spot. Because right now in Florida, you can only use cannabis on a property that's owned. Like, if I'm the owner of the property and I say, yes, you can smoke here, you can use your medicine, then you can use it. But so it has to be a place that I can own and buy. It can't be like a rented spot. There's just a lot that goes into it, because I'm trying to make it into, maybe in the future when it does become recreational, I'm already have my foot in the door.
And do some research. There are some places like CBD coffee shops that already exist in other cities. So I would try to make sure I get to visit them. But you do have to make sure you allocate time to this. Because if you're just doing this in your spare time, just writing things down, there's a lot of services that they offer locally too. Like you can go to your small business administration services and go and and take classes on how to write a business plan. You can see those things online, but you have to get all of that together because nobody is going to invest in something if they can't understand how it's going to make a profit for them. So you have to get those numbers together. And you have to also invest because people don't want to invest in you if you don't invest in yourself. So right now you're saying you don't have the money. Come up with a plan, whatever it is that you have to do to get that money. If you have to do a GoFundMe, if you have to ask, people in your family to help contribute, but you need to make sure you have that groundwork laid out because if you're asking someone for money to invest, they want to know what is the return on my investment. And so that means you have a lot of work to do. You're in the beginning stages of planning this out, but you have to take it seriously. I know you said you work like 70 hours a week. Is there a way that you can spend some more time on what it is that you want to do for yourself to lessen those hours right now?
To lessen the hours? No, not really. Like, we're pretty short-staffed, so that's why I work so much.
Okay.
So really just, I guess, waking up early, so that's my issue. So maybe if I wake up a little bit earlier, I can take that time in the morning to start writing. So
yes, girl, find time. If you have vacation days, you might have to take your vacation days to do that and not go on vacation.
Yeah.
Even
And
taking a
also,
week off to just really focus and plan out. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and if you're interested, I would love to send you my ideas, maybe an email that I can send you my ideas to. I know a couple of months ago I heard you talking to somebody. They're like, sometimes people don't have a business plan ready, but maybe create a slideshow or something. So I'm willing to do that if you're willing to hear my ideas.
Okay. And listen, just start small. Don't try to do too much too soon. If you can show people this can work, you can actually start small and then let your idea grow because it is going to change. It's not going to be what you think it is in the beginning. So just make sure you get in there and don't put yourself in over your head when it comes to overhead.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right. Yeah. But send it to me. Send it through to me. Okay. Stay on the line. I'll give you my email.
Alrighty, guys. Have a good day.
You too now. Ask Ye, 800-585-1051. Now we got rumors on the way?
Yes. Why is Vogue magazine under fire? It has to do with Kim Kardashian on the cover of the latest issue.
All right. We'll get into that next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
It's time. She's spilling the tea.
This is The Rumor Report with Angela Yee on The Breakfast Club.
So Kim Kardashian is on the cover of the latest issue of Vogue, and some people have some issues. They want to know why the former editor, Andre Leon Talley, who recently passed, was not featured and was not on the cover instead. People were posting, so Vogue isn't doing anything special for Andre Leon Talley. So Vogue thought it was a good idea to feature Kim Kardashian on the cover of the March 2022 issue and not Andre Leon Talley. Well, we know Anna Wintour truly cared for Andre, right? And a little sarcastic face. So people had a problem.
How do we know that's not coming, though? Like, how do we know the March issue? We know the March issue is probably already in the works. So you do the March issue and you do something special for Andre.
Right. So I'm not sure if there is something special about to happen, but if there wasn't, it should be now, right? All right. Now, in this interview, Kim Kardashian talks about a lot of different things. She talks about her divorce, and she said her 40s are about being team me. She said, for so long, I did what made other people happy. And I think in the last 2 years, I decided I'm going to make myself happy, and that feels really good. And even if that created changes and caused my divorce, I think it's important to be honest with yourself about what really makes you happy. I've chosen myself. I think it's okay to choose you.
Always.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, in addition to that, Kanye shared a photo collage of that Vogue, some of the pictures that were inside, and there's some pictures of the family. And so he posted, God, please bring our family back together. And that was the caption that he put along those images from that new Vogue cover story.
It's not. Is it me, or it doesn't seem like he's moving like he wants his family to get back together?
He's definitely, if he has a strange way of showing it, if he does. You can't slander your wife in public like that, and then say things like you want your family back together.
No, God, I want my family back together. No.
All right. Now, AJ Johnson has responded to people having issues with her lip service interview. If you didn't see it, she talked about her experience on her 50th birthday with two men. I believe we have it.
When I was with 3 men, I just did paper.
Make sure you record them. Make sure you got them recorded. Joe.
Come to a place
You caught that?
in society where it'd be like a threesome is 2 men and a woman.
I've only done that.
Two
And
men?
2 men. It was like they were friends, and they traded off. It's the best 50th birthday ever.
yes.
Okay, and they traded off, so it was never like them together.
Okay.
It was like they were flip flopping me. You know, one would please me, then he'd pass me to the other, and one would kiss me, and then he'd spin me around for the other.
Did
it
that
was
feel
like
powerful?
a beautiful dance. Oh my
Nice.
goodness!
Wow.
It was
Tennis
like
match.
it was like doing salsa with 2 guys at the same time.
Well, a lot of people weighed in after that story, and she did an exclusive with Baller Alert. And here's what she had to say about people being childish.
It wasn't even sexual. We were like, 3 musketeers, as I said. We were actually really friends. And the comfort of the friendship turned intimate and sensual, just a general intimate relationship before it became sexual. When people started saying it was a train, I never said there was penetration. I never said, it's like that mind frame is what took over. I said in the interview, it was sensual, it was intimate, it was, I felt very safe. I said all that. So that don't sound like a train to me. But again, here's the other thing. Call it what you want. All I know was it was the best intimate, sensual relationship I've ever had. And if you want to call it a train, choo choo.
Choo choo.
I love AJ.
Well, it sounded sexual on lip service, but my thing is, why does she have to explain herself?
She shouldn't
What
have
does it
to.
matter?
This is her life. This is what she enjoys. Nobody's judging. Judge-free zone.
Would
Who
you all
cares?
please stop explaining yourself to social media? Please say what you said and let it be. Let them discuss amongst themselves. Who cares what them folks think?
What are you doing for your 50th?
But AJ's always very open about talking about her life and talking about experience. And she is a life therapy coach, so she probably wanted to further explain. She was good at it. Good explanation. Choo choo. All right, now Kendrick Lamar is going to detail the making of To Pimp a Butterfly on a podcast now, and it's on the upcoming season of Spotify's The Big Hit Show podcast. So that should be exciting. And that is a Barack Obama backed podcast, by the way. It's produced by Barack and Michelle Obama's Higher Ground Productions, and it's going to be for season 2.
That I'm actually
So
going to listen
that'll-
to. Because The Pimp a Butterfly is a classic album that you actually will appreciate more than you probably did when it came out back then. That album's so damn black. Drop on the clues bombs for The Pimp a Butterfly. That's actually my favorite Kendrick Lamar album.
All right, and Little Fizz, there's a video of him that just leaked. And in this video, there's a video clip of him. People were doing like mushroom emojis and things like that. And so I saw a lot of people had things to say on social media. What'd y'all think?
Think about what?
Little Fizz's video.
Lil Fizz put out a video?
I ain't seen no Lil Fizz video.
What's the song?
Yeah, liars. You guys were just saying that you liked it, but okay. And I do want to give a shout out to Anthony Ramos. You know, Anthony Ramos, Envy, he was in the Heights, which I know you love.
Yep.
Yes, he was a star of that, and you know him as well for working on Hamilton. Well, he has joined the Marvel comic universe.
Who he playing?
And so he will be he'll be in Ironheart, and they said right now it's a secret.
Ooh.
So he'll have a key role in Marvel's Ironheart series. Okay. So
Let's go back to something you said. I ain't heard nothing about no Lil Fizz. I heard Envy in here talking about Isaiah Rashad. I ain't hear nothing about no Lil Fizz.
I still didn't see the Isaiah Rashad stuff, or did I see Lil Fizz?
There's a cap.
All right, well, that is your rumor report.
Definitely a cap.
There ain't no cap.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right.
Up next is the People's Choice Mix, 800-585-1051. Get your request in. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Your mornings will never be the same.
Our Audible pick of the day is The Perfect Day to Boss Up. This is Rick Ross's guide to building your own empire. Now listen up. Your first 30 days of Audible are free when you sign up at audible.com/Breakfast Club. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. It's Black History Month. What we doing?
Listen, man, today, my guy B. Dot dropped another episode of I Didn't Know, Maybe You Didn't Either on the Black Effect iHeartRadio Podcast Network, and we're talking about cowboys and are they racist? Listen.
I didn't know, maybe you didn't. Welcome to Mr. Dottie's neighborhood. And we're at the home of one of the most influential saxophonists of all time, John Coltrane, right here in High Point, North Carolina. See, in the 1700s, enslaved people that got to work with the cattle, they got special privileges. Oh, they got to use the dance. Yeah, Yeah, and they got the ride the horses. Yeah! Yeah! Now, everybody that worked with the cattle were considered cowhands. But to degrade black folk, they called them cowboys. But then the term cowboys went mainstream. And there have been notable black cowboys that have been whitewashed in history. For example, the Lone Ranger. Are you familiar with the Lone Ranger? He wasn't white, he was black. His name was Bass Reeves. He had a little Native American homeboy that went with him everywhere. And he went his whole career without ever getting shot one time. Nat Love. Nat Love was so nice with the pistols that they called him Deadwood Dick with the pistols. That was just a movie that dropped about notable black cowboys called The Harder They Fall. Look it up. Wonderful film. Because I didn't know. Maybe you didn't either.
I didn't know the term cowboy was actually racist, but that not going to stop me from being a Dallas Cowboy fan.
All right, well, when we come back, we got the positive note. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Now, you got a positive note, Charlamagne?
I do, man, and it comes from the god named Hov. Since it is Black History Month, salute to Mr. Sean Carter. Jay-Z once said, couple mistakes here and there, and I'm not always right, but I am always real, and that's how I sleep at night. Amen.
Breakfast Club, bitches!
Y'all finished or y'all done?